You are watching PR English Shorthand Dictations YouTube channel.
This is English shorthand dictation number 422 and the dictation speed is 100 words per minute. Ready? Start. The concept of one nation, one election has recently gained traction in India with the government and political leaders alike debating the merits, demerits, and challenges of holding national and state elections together. The concept of one nation, one election advocates for conducting Lok Sabha elections and state assemblies elections together, thereby creating a unified election cycle. The idea first floated in India during the early years of independence has evolved over a period of time into a topic of serious political debate. Proponents of this concept argue that one nation, one election could lead to cost saving, greater administrative efficiency, and political stability, while critics warn that it could destroy the federal structure of the country, marginalize regional parties, and reduce voter engagement. The roots of the one nation, one election concept can be traced back to the early years of India's independence. The first general elections held in 1952 were conducted together with state elections. This system continued until the 1960s when it started to unravel due to the frequent dissolution of state assemblies and changes in the political landscape at the state level. Over time, elections at the national and state levels began to occur at different times, creating a situation where elections were being held almost every year somewhere in the country. Despite this shift, the idea of holding simultaneous elections has remained a topic of debate. The Law Commission of India, in its 1999 report, and various other committees have recommended exploring the possibility of one nation, one election. However, the challenge lies in how to coordinate the different electoral cycles of 28 states and 8 union territories, each with its own political dynamics and electoral requirements. The idea of one nation, one election is often presented as a solution to various issues that have become ingrained in the Indian electoral system over the years. Those who are in favor of this proposal make some key arguments. First, elections are an expensive affair. In India, holding elections means significant financial costs incurred on polling booths, security forces, administrative resources, and electoral staff. Holding simultaneous elections can lead to huge cost savings. It could also result in fewer instances of violence and administrative strain. In the current system, elections are held almost every year, with politicians being engaged in perpetual campaigning. This detracts from the ability of public representatives to focus on governance and development work. If national and state elections are held together, there will be reduction in the frequency of elections and governments will have more time for policy implementation. The idea of simultaneous elections is often associated with the potential for greater political stability. If we adopt this system, it could lead to stronger mandates for political parties, especially the ruling party, as their national and state level performance could be evaluated at the same time. This, in turn, could reduce the frequency of mid term elections and changes in government. By reducing the electoral cycle, public representatives and political parties may be able to shift their focus away from elections and towards long term governance. Governments could focus on implementing policies, improving governance, and addressing the needs of the electorate. One nation, one election could increase voter engagement by providing a clear and straightforward electoral process. Voters would only need to cast their votes once for both national and state elections, making the process simple and encouraging higher turnout. While one nation, one election presents several advantages, it also raises a host of challenges and concerns. India has a federal structure where power is divided between the central government and the states. The simultaneous elections could erode the autonomy of state governments as local issues and regional dynamics may get ignored by national politics. Regional parties, which often play a significant role in state elections, could struggle to maintain relevance in simultaneous elections. India is home to a vast and diverse political landscape. The dominance of national parties could marginalize regional parties, whose success depends heavily on state specific issues. In simultaneous elections, national parties may benefit from greater visibility, making it harder for regional players to garner support based on their local issues. Implementing simultaneous elections across India's vast expanse would be a logistical nightmare. India is a country with over 900 million eligible voters spread across diverse terrains, languages, and cultures. Managing an election process with such a large electorate would require extraordinary levels of planning, coordination, and mobilization of resources. Moreover, it would be difficult to ensure the security of elections. In case of a failure in conducting simultaneous elections due to logistical issues or a delay in one region, the entire election process could be delayed, disrupting governance. A delay in the election of the state assembly could result in a situation where governance is impacted for an extended period, potentially leading to a constitutional crisis. Although one nation, one election could lead to higher voter engagement, the reality may be more complicated. Elections in India often see disparities in voter turnout between national and state elections. If both the elections are held together, some voters may become disillusioned or overwhelmed by the scale of the voting process, possibly leading to lower turnout in some regions. For one nation, one election to become a reality, certain steps must be taken to address the challenges. The Indian constitution would need to be amended to allow for the simultaneous elections. This would involve changes to the term of state assemblies and the Lok Sabha to ensure that elections can be held together. While one nation, one election may lead to national parties dominating the political discourse, measures must be put in place to ensure that state elections retain their independence. This could include increasing the representation of regional parties at the national level and creating systems to ensure that local issues are given due importance.